everybody, and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 20, Week 4. Today, we're taking a look at... Wait a minute, my chat's not visible on stream. Whoops. There we go. Today, we're taking a look at... I have no wards, and I must scream. That's the Hollywood team. He's actually here this time. Taking on How to Train Your Guardian. That's the Granola team. And for those of you watching on YouTube, you see this guy up here? Wait, I need to be in Dota for that to show up. You see this guy up here, TZ13? That's Granola, so that'll be fun. With me here today is Tiki, Goblin Tiki
Got it right.
himself.
There you go. 1 out of 1. Only going downhill from here.
Hell yeah. I historically have been usually calling this guy Techie, but apparently it's pronounced Tiki. You learn something new every day.
10 seconds remain. Radiant team banned.
You learn Granola has been doing his homework. I've long been a proponent of banning out those Hollywood heroes, and that's the first thing he does right at the start of this game. It's
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, there was a time I stopped talking about it on cast because I started feeling bad, but it's like the guy does have like a notable. They're getting rid of the Void Spirit. That's the Gundam hero. He does have a notable gap in performance, I think, between his most comfort heroes and like the rest of his lineup. One of those types of guys. He does very well on that pool, right? Definitely way better on his pool than like anybody else like close to his rank is. I would say when he's on his Disruptor Mirana, he'd probably playing closer. There's Leaf in chat. Shout out to Leaf. Probably playing a little closer to an Archon level support, but you knock out those guys and it's a very different story. You can definitely see how it's been kind of a struggle to climb because you know you're really putting yourself into a situation where you just get one, like if one guy just randomly has Disruptor banned, fuck, you know.
10 seconds remaining.
But
5 seconds.
yeah, just getting rid of those, getting rid of the Undying 2, which is one of his go-tos when he doesn't have one of his comfort guys. It is kind of like a B-string player for him, so just putting a lot of pressure on their off lane, which should free up their pause 1, who I guess is going to be Wild Daddy this week. Or no, that's not going to be that. The Granola is a pause 1 on the stand. It's gonna free up space for Granola. Gonna make a very easy lane for the captain. Hey, wait, that's why he's banning those heroes.
So selfish.
Damn.
5 seconds remaining.
No Invoker. They're trying to drop a train on Gundam here. I think that's a risky strategy. Gundam has definitely been on teams where he's the guy, he's the main attraction, he's the main event. This ain't really one of those teams, though. I think this Granola lineup is more equitable for him. So I don't know if it's necessarily wise to drop 2 bans on him first phase. Especially a hero like the Invoker, I feel like. There's definitely a moment of ads. I apologize for that.
Yeah, the Void Spirit makes sense as a phase 1 ban though. The hero is just insanely strong this patch. And then Gundam also is good on the hero too.
Very good, yeah. The Invoker though, I feel like I've seen more Invoker related disasters by good Invoker players this season picking it early than I have successes. Also got rid of the Shaman. They I don't know if the Granola team wanted to get rid of it, but they had the nice benefit I always talk about, where if you're first pick, you can just make second pick ban one of the 100% PB heroes for you, which is always awesome. They banned out the Lich, they banned out the Wraith King, they did what Giraffe didn't want to do, banned out the Necro. Spoilers. Well, not spoilers, because we're not looking at that game, that's the dead game. It's a game that did not save the replay.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
And they banned the DK and another Lumix ban.
Yeah, I'm here with
Feels
Granola.
weird.
Granola with me on microphone. How you doing, Granola? This is Tiki / Techie. So I'm glad they apparently sound similar enough to confuse you. 5 ads in a row. Apologies for that. Like I've said before, I am not in the best situation. So could not do this season, do like Wednesday and potentially Friday cast this season without running the ads. Apologies for it. I will say this is very cheap shilling, so I apologize for saying this as well. If you're a subscriber, you do not get ads, ever. Well, you get ads if your subscription ends, but if you're a subscriber, active sub, you do not get ads. And yeah, Renee, just log into your alt. Jeez. Very early quad pick by Hollywood here. Very interesting. Presumably for Megatron, who is standing in this week for Looter. Must have a thin pool or something. They didn't really screen it all that well. They didn't like ban many mids that are like particularly good against it. Granola going to be picking up the Death Prophet here. That's another kind of risky pick at this point, though not as risky as the Quap, I would say. Death Prophet, I think it'll be interesting to see this, because we haven't really... Oh, there's Cerberix in chat. Shoutouts to Cerberix, who's not been here this season so far. Tyre about to pick 5 heal heroes, like every draft in LD2L. True. Cerberix, of course, for those of you who are not aware, was on the winning team last season. And I asked him to join for this one, but he couldn't make it. And we all cried. But, yeah. DP, a hero that definitely needs, like, coordination compared to other heroes in LD2L, right? Like, we've seen plenty of these DPs so far this season that have been on teams that weren't quite all together, all on the same page. And what you often have is a hero... Oh, the frick, this isn't Giraffe versus Ransoms. I advertised what I was doing in my... You did buy 2 mechs. Yeah, I flamed you for that. I advertised that in my chat, Big Al. Apologies. Also, we only got 1 game because the second replay from that set is busted. But we did get Tiki. So we're going to break the rule of not casting your own game because that guy's here. And maybe here forever if he doesn't suck. So there's that.
Yeah. I'll be in chat either way. I can suck, it's all good. Let's see. This DP hero, though, is... I've liking it a lot more in the pubs, although I haven't played it yet, but it's really annoying to play against. That if I was the Radiant, I would pick AA right away just to counter it, because the Siphon is so annoying to deal with.
Yeah. Hasn't been successful so much in LD2L. It's definitely going to be a test of how well the Granola team communicate, because if you have fights where the DP is like coming in at a weird place or at the wrong time or something, if the timing doesn't match the rest of the lineup, it gets brutal. You see some 3-second long exos when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But the good thing is they have the Night Stalker to pair with it, so for 5 minutes in a row, they can be really aggressive, and if exo's up off cooldown, they can definitely force probably a tower or 2 or a whole lane.
Damn, Skyraz spammer is pissed off in chat. Radiant looks super squished. That is very true. It is a good point. Even if it is worded harshly enough, I would yell at you if you said that on cast. Yeah, they did kind of counterpick themselves to a big degree into the Night Stalker here. Like the Quap and the CM, they had no idea that was coming, right? It was picked after those. The Skyrath, though, you did kind of pick up the Skyrath after the Night Stalker came out. Yeah, the Axe, so at least it's one guy who doesn't really care about Night Stalker at all. Night Stalker wants to mess with Axe. I think Axe is usually going to say, you know, good. Frankly, so there's that. And even if the Skyrath as an individual is probably going to have a bad game, at the very least, Call plus Skyrath ult is always a good time. CM and Quamp already do this, now you have 3 heroes who fulfill the same role. I don't think in a lot of cases, Radiant Draft is cooked, I don't think in a lot of cases you want to drop the CM ult on the Axe call. You're just, you know, you're going to be in a weird place, weird position doing something like that. True for the Quap ult, though. It's true for the Quap ult. Still, Axe isn't tanky, he's just another AoE nuker. I would say he's at least comparatively tanky. Certainly tankier than anybody else on his team, I think. If you want to build him as such, could definitely be the tankiest person. Should always drop CM ult during Axe call, because there's no other time you can drop it. Yeah, that's kind of a problem, isn't it?
That's why you go do the Chad move and just pick a CM and get battle, or BKB. so he could just be in the middle of everything and not care.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what the Chads do.
Well, now you'll care, actually, because I got Batrider. That's a left
Well,
field pick.
Radiant team ban.
I think, I might be wrong about this, but last I checked, Batrider is like bottom 5 heroes still. So that's,
If you get the
gonna
Ag
be
Shard,
awesome.
you can just melt buildings too. Before it
There
got
you
nerfed.
There you go.
10 seconds remaining.
So it looks like
Radiant
the
team ban.
the Dire lineup is going to be all about ending the game early enough before Winx can outskill everyone. That's what it says to me off of the draft.
Russian plays dividends and LD2L. That probably works. Well, sometimes it plays dividends. Sometimes you get really aggressive and you go 40 and 0. So, remains to be seen how that one's going to work out.
5
No Ursa,
seconds
no
remaining.
Drow Ranger. It's going to be banning some comfort ones here, I would believe. It's going to be unique because I think Granola and Winx actually play in the same league, right? I think they're both in LD2L. The same. Well, they were both in LD2L. I think that season's ended by now, but I believe Granola is going to be kind of unique in this season in that I think he's going to know Winx's a little better than like most of the people in the season generally. So that'll be interesting to see how that comes out. Spoilers! Haven't seen the end of pick yet. TZ13,
10
whoever you
seconds
are.
remaining.
Ever played against Winx in here? Okay, never mind.
Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Juggernaut.
Okay, Jugganax, huh?
Could be worse. I'm a big Jugs
Yeah.
gamer. It's alright.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the
10
world, but it
seconds
does make me go ooh a little bit looking at it. I think they're
5
just
seconds
banking on the
remaining.
idea that the rest of the team is going to be such a bulldozer, it's not really going to matter. Who are the highest MMR players? Which hero is the highest MMR player on each team? I think Granola is the... Someone else saw NO Jug versus Axe, true. They saw the Axe play really passively and just be solo a lot and like get Omni Slash and then not run into creeps. Oh my god, that moment where he got Omni Slash, he ran away from the wave, I died watching that. Poor Lou. Dusa,
Now
huh?
select your heroes.
This is an interesting one.
Deuce it into the Jug on top of
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, the Dusa into Jug matchup, I think, it's usually going to be fine. The real question is going to be, I think, what it's going to be like in the surroundings, what it's going to be like with the vacuum filled in. I think right now the problem that I'm really looking at is the Dire has a 0% chance to win this game. Yikes. You went from the Radiant draft is cooked to the Dire has a 0% chance to win. Okay, there we go. Anyway, the ready to be griefed by gameplay. Yeah. It's one thing to pick counters. It's another thing to... Who is Skyra Spammer? That is Kingfisher. He's not in this season. But he was in last season. So there's that. Ready to be griefed by gameplay. Could be. Could definitely be. Gundam is the best mid laner in LD2L. Gundam's in chat. He is idling here.
It is hard to ban out his heroes.
Yeah.
Ban out the Void and the Invoker. His Night Stalker is nothing to joke about, and it's really annoying to have a Night Stalker with them
I think
playing it.
maybe the way I would put it is that
Prepare
Gundam
for
is
battle.
the best mid in LD... What the hell was that noise? That was weird. Gundam is the best mid in LD2L that doesn't have an asterisk on it, I think. That's at this season at least. That's what I would say. Like, the other contenders for that spot, they all have like something where I think on their best day, right? Like if Average Peen gets one of the pool heroes, he's probably going to run over Gundam. Sorry, Gundam, now you're here. But if Average Peen gets one of his pool heroes and Gundam is not on something that counters it pretty well, it is probably going to favor Average Peen, for example. But if Average Peen is off that pool, it's hard to get Gundam to have no game. And that's pretty unique for mid laners this season. Jug is in a pretty crazy place. The Witch Doctor, though, is actually going to be the first to fall. The crazy place is going to work out. The Axe just kind of ignores him, just lets himself get killed. Very interesting here. Very crazy pre-game fight. The Jug's so low, the Quap's so low.
Jug's gonna die. Jug
Yeah,
should
he
die.
he doesn't have spin for a long time, but Quap does not want to seal the deal here.
There's no way he doesn't die.
The battle begins.
Yes, 3 tangos. Elected not to eat them, and he gets denied, so that's kind of funny.
Okay.
And oh, Gundam just Gundam. Wait a minute, Gundam is.
He was low HP. He wanted
That's
to
true.
have
I just realized Gundam is on the Night Stalker. That's like a classic weird Gundam mid hero. He doesn't know what to play. He picks like a 3 and runs a mid. People might be doing this right now. I don't know. Anyway, it's time for everyone's favorite part of the cast, the roll call. On I Have No Words and I Must Scream. Pause 1, you've got Winx, who's sponsored by Ick. On the Medusa. Of 2, standing in for Looter, you have the SS Megatron, one of the finest ships in the sea. On the Quap. Pause 3, you've got Purple Moon Jelly on the Axe. Pause 4, Captain of the Team, sponsored by Lemon Trash. You've got Hollywood on the Scarath Mage. And pause 5, you've got Rada G. Gast on the Crystal Maiden. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, on how to train your Guardian. Pause 1, you've got Granola on the Juggernaut. Pause 2, you've got Gundam on Granola, by the way, Captain of the Team. Pause 2, you've got Gundam on the Night Stalker. Pause 3, you've got Wild Daddy on the Death Prophet. Pause 4, that's standing in, by the way. I believe that this is a stand-in, right, Granola? I'm not crazy. Pause 4, you've got, because there are people in this league who do not have the old pro names, so. Pause 4, you've got Nenny, also known as Kurisu, also known as the namesake Guardian. It is a stand-in? Okay. Also known as the namesake Guardian. Rada's gonna take a spill here. On the Bat Rider, not Captain of the Team, even though it's named after him. Pause 5, you've got Barrett on the Witch Doctor. Oh, Death Prophet's bald! Very nice.
Oh, what a bug.
Should do a GoFundMe for poor Quap, but either way. I know you talked about not really being a mid player, but I want to get your take on it. What do you think of this Quap versus Night Stalker mid scenario?
It's all gonna be like how the Quap scales or which skills she takes. So if she's gonna go for the spam heavy and make it where the Night Stalker can't or has to lead lane because she's always gonna be low, then the Quap wins and can snowball from there. But if they just go for the farming jungles, I think it's gonna be even. It's gonna be a pain build.
There you go.
That's
what would you do in this situation?
Cry, not play mid.
Not play mid and cry. Good.
Yeah.
That's about the same as what I would do, if I'm being honest with you. Thus far, Gundam pretty firmly in the lead over Megatron here. Which I guess,
Yeah, so much attack speed, so much attack damage.
Yep, started out with had the trait where it starts out at night, so he gets the bonus attack speed just right off the bat.
Like, how do you last it? You have the Night Stalker has 20 damage on you as Quap. How do you last it?
I'm sure this is not rocket science, but I think that's the right trait to take this game. It's just, you know, the early levels these two are going to have. The opening of this lane phase, I think, is going to be deciding for whether or not Night Stalker has a good game. So even if this doesn't really pay out dividends after lane phase, which is a possibility, I think just giving himself the advantage this early game was smart on Gundam's part. So far, most of these lanes are just kind of like going. I mean, okay, Granola kind of low here. They get a Maledict off, but kind of comes out at the wrong time, really. Hollywood now playing Dota 2. Hold on. Wait, what? Why did he? Sure, okay. Why not? Hold on. I gotta yell at Hollywood
Dire's
live.
tower is under attack.
There we go. Moon Jelly very low here. It was, it's funny because for a while it looked like Axe was just completely walking over this lane. I looked up here because I was like, how is this one-sided at the moment? He's up nearly 10 last hits, and now suddenly, it's kind of bad for Axe. Just one bad go gets rid of his entire HP bar. That's a giant call.
Oh,
But
Boots. He's gonna live, I think.
maybe. No, I think he's dead actually. Just barely
he's
dead.
dead.
I like how he just kind of stood there and took it. He just accepted fate. He didn't try to run away.
Deny
He
himself to
didn't,
the creeps, but to the left.
Yeah, he didn't try to do that. He didn't try to get this Wisdom Shrine, which wouldn't even be up for 2 more minutes. He didn't even he didn't even say something funny in all chat. That's what I would have done if I was in that situation. I would just open up all chat and been like, damn it, with a ... at the end, and then I would have died. This is a good cast. This is classic drug lane gameplay. You just get your support to do one skill, then you hit Q and run them over. Looks like this lane is probably going to just tilt more in Granola's favor as time goes on, though still notably pretty low on the last hit count compared to Winx, who has pretty much gotten every single last hit thus far in this lane and is just kind of balling. There is one thing about this Winx guy is that he is like La in a way. I'm not going to pretend that Winx is the perfect player. Hell, I'm not even going to pretend he shouldn't be an LD2L or anything. But a lot of his faults do kind of go to one side. Rada just getting run over here by the DB, just runs right at her.
That's exactly how you should play this lane if you want to win. Like you can't.
Yep.
Like you're not gonna kill those.
They called
Lisa.
another person down here to try and get the save there, and just weighed the aggression. It just didn't work. Are they? What the hell? Who's going top? The SS Megatron has docked here at top. Chug's turning around like he's gonna get an Omni. It's kind of funny. He had that look. That was very much an Omni look in his eyes when he was doing that. Even though he's level 4. Quap Scream just in the middle of this takes out one person, and it looks like it took out 2, but that was just actually because Witch Doctor died at bot while this is happening. But yes, this Megatron just gonna get sunk here. Oh my god. Granola just barely gonna die. I think it spun on the last auto attack there, so maybe you should have just ran to the Night Stalker, let him do the dirty work. I don't know. Kind of sad for Juggernaut to have died just 1 frame before Axe did, but interesting set of circumstances combined with what happened to the bot lane. That's a 4-for-3 trade. It favors the Radiant very heavily, though.
Radiant
A lot more money changes hands. About 1,000 more gold changes hands on that. Even though they just got 1 more kill. How crazy is that? It's the power of having a bunch of last hits on the Axe, I suppose. Just a more valuable target. Deuce, that's a pretty good E from Deuce.
Got a pretty good stick though, so she's fine.
Yep. Rada coming in, just throwing skills at this on the CM. But she should be fine for now. Definitely, yep, Rada doing the... Okay, I was gonna say Rada doing the right thing here. I was gonna say, really want to see this wave get pulled. Funnily enough, Winx tried to pull the wave himself when that didn't happen. Not seen these games yet. Is this G1? Yes, we just started, Dusty. This is G1. We're not going to do the game 2 of the other series because it died. The game is going to be game 3. True. That's, this guy is actually going to be in that game. Well, the guy who's doing this with me today is going to be in that game.
Yeah, that was actually a good game. Could have won either way. Unlike game
Well,
2.
don't spoil it! And we've got our first disconnect of the day.
I'm sorry.
Ay, 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 ay. His internet died.
I think I'd like to see this axe kind of feels like they have a bit of a last hit lead, a little bit of a gold league that they should be pulling the wave and farming some jungle creeps so they can kind of snowball and get their blink in blade mail quicker. So it
There we
looks
go.
like they're on a good
I
pace.
will not forget this.
Yeah, thus far. Though it is, I do understand his idea to be a little bit more conservative, because the momentum is not favoring him right now. The momentum is heavily favoring the Juggernaut. So I can definitely understand wanting to try and play it a little bit safe, even if you're going to do something like this. Just leave this to be the risk.
Just
let Skywrath
Yeah, just let the
tank the
Skywrath.
first Omni Slash. Die. Actually, Granola might have went a little too far here. Yeah, he's just gonna get
Die.
cooked.
Tower is under attack.
Good play, good play.
They, I hate it when you snap a granola bar in half. I swear, some of those brands, it just gets everywhere, right? It's just like, you'll never stop picking crumbs when something like that happens.
Oh, the Nature's Valley, like peanut butter
Oh,
crunchy.
yeah. Those Nature's
It tastes so
Valley
good, though. It tastes so good, so it's worth the mess.
Well, it tastes so good for about 5 minutes, and then it gets stale in the wrapper. This is pretty bad looking. We got the inaugural bat ult here. This is a very dead looking Dusa.
Tower is under attack.
This might be one of those few situations, actually, where the Maledict on the Medusa... No, it's not going to do anything, actually. She's going to live.
That's frustrating.
Gonna
I'd be tilted
give
off that.
everybody a nice pro tip. Are you ready?
Radiant's middle tower
So
is
here's a
under
pop
attack.
quiz for you. How does Maledict do damage?
Radiant structures are fortified.
HP loss.
Yep. Literally just the difference in HP
Dire's top tower is
between...
under attack.
you want to destroy someone mentally, you can tell them to eat a Nature's LD2L granola bar on their bed. That is very true. Shout out Slothful Dragon, but it should be noted that it is literally just the difference between your current HP and the amount you had when you started, right? Which means that using the Maledict on this hero is like super rarely a worthwhile investment. You're very rarely going to do any damage with it. You're in a situation like that on the Witch Doctor, I think, even though it's very tempting to just, oh, there's the carry getting fucked up, I want to drop it on him. Save it for the next guy you see. Save it for the guy who interdicts to try and save him. Because you're not going to kill the Dusa that way, so you might as well kill some other guy at least.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Been seeing that particular interaction a lot recently, don't know why.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Both
Radiant
the
structures
cores
are
in top
fortified.
lane have now retired to this jungle. Actually, Quamp is also here in the GG jungle. Kinda awkward. Look at the net worth chart. You can see why this this strategy that Gundam had of trying to just go as hard as possible in the lane, just make it as bad as he could for the Quap. It's definitely paid dividends in that regard. She is poor at the moment. It's kind of awkward because you have two cores. One of them wants every cent on the map and also farms pretty fast. One of them doesn't necessarily want every coin on the map, but he's just gonna farm just by default, just by existing. It's kind of funny just to keep being here in the middle of the hitting the jungle camp.
For what though? Seems like a little bit of a waste of a GP.
Because the Night Stalker, they were jumping on somebody here. They were jumping people at mid. Night Stalker was like well behind this tower line here, so. And with the Axe TP, they're actually going to take the opportunity to hit smoke on two, the Witch Doctor and the Bat Rider. Probably waiting for the, yeah, there we go. Waiting for the, oh, the Bat Rider accidentally revealed a little early. He has his lasso ready, but yeah,
Press it.
kind of awkward.
Are fortified.
I don't think he got in range. Yeah, that range is really short. Okay, Quap just jumped right onto Oh man, actually DB's gonna lose in that. I think Quabju jumped on a silence, lost half her HP, and then just got annihilated here. CM follows. Night Stalker going very deep. This is gonna be our blade mail reveal for the axe. Gundam just barely gonna get out of town. Barrett does not change who the Witch Doctor ult is targeting there. That is much ado about nothing. That looks like it was gonna be a crazy fight, and it was just a 1 for 2. 933 gold to the Dire, so it is still a win for them. Axe takes off a Vanguard. You know, I haven't tested recently if Omni Slash actually works correctly with damage block. I know there was a time it didn't, and there was a time it did. I don't know what it does right now. So I don't know.
As a drug player, I can't even answer that one. I don't know either.
So I don't know. I think it works. I think it definitely does work. What am I saying? I did a whole test for Ladle Lads a couple of weeks ago, actually. So I believe that should work. Though we'll let you know this doesn't. Do not blame mail the Omni Slash. We learned that back a couple of weeks ago. Shoutouts to Ransoms. Alrighter, this is such an awkward, like, little long-term sort of scuffle here over the mid T1s. Both teams, I think, trying to seal the deal, get the other guys mid T1. It feels like a pub I'm watching right now with these two guys who these two teams just always, the weight of battle just centered like here, basically. Well, DP not gonna be part of it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
She wants to get her Ags. The Ags feel so strong on DP this patch.
There's definitely ARAM true. It's definitely bigger compared to what it was last season, I can tell you that much.
Like
the right
the
play
Ags
this
Prasma?
I would say probably the right thing to do this scam. I don't think it's necessarily always a, get this immediately type item. There seems to be a contingent for that. I think it's a good item to have. Probably a good item in the vast majority of games, but I don't necessarily want it first every game. This game, though, I think it's pretty much fine. For a very long time, they're going to have a problem actually kind of killing you quickly in the course of things.
Unless they drop the Skywrath and Quap ults on you at the same time, then you're good.
Yeah, we've already seen that happen to the DP thus far once this scam. And true to form, she indeed did not live that. And, oh, that was a little sad. Could have been an awesome go there. Okay, this is a little bad. No! Okay, yes. The Quabble just barely reached the, Did Ads get Blade Mail Phase and Vanguard before Blink? Yes, he did. And he called a wave. Shoutouts to advertisements. But yeah, he did get the full Monty before he got Blink. He is about to get his Blink.
Cut and run.
So there is that. Oh, Blink at 17 minutes. Actually, Blink at about 17 minutes. It is basically done here. Well, it would have been done if he did that ancient camp, but he ran away from it for some reason. Maybe entranced by this prospect. I guess he does lack his. Oh no, he lost vision. They just keep losing vision on each other for like a half second. He can't cast anything.
Oh, that's so frustrating. There he goes.
This guy is super dead. Goodbye, Gundam. And that is, yeah, gonna be for sure Blink now. Night Stalker at least is gonna buy out before he dies. Yeah, that's not only Blink, that's Blink and 1,000 more gold, actually. Where is that? Who needs Blink when you can run at people, true. Yeah, it is kind of the issue with the Dire this game, is that outside of the DP, who is a target you really don't want to call anyway, you're gonna kind of be like outpacing most of these guys a lot of the time. You're gonna be able to get some just run and gun calls. The Medusa gonna get a nice Omni Slash drop there, along with the Bat Rider ult. Definitely, I would have liked to see the Bat Rider ult come out separately there, perhaps, but what are you gonna do? Medusa just ults go some, nothing happening. Womp gets the Blade Mail. Yeah, but, yuck. Pro tip, don't do that, that doesn't do anything.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Going to
attack.
kill Gundam off screen while this is happening, which actually is probably the bigger story. In fact, let's take a look at that happening. Oh man, he goes 100 to 0 too. Is this going to be Axe drops on his head blink reveal? Yep.
Yep.
Axe shows Gundam what he kindly just bought for him.
Ice is not always
Radiant's middle tower
Or
is under
just
attack.
gave him the money to buy, I guess. How nice of Axe to first debut his Blink Dagger on the man who gave it to him. Definitely feels like a bit of not knowing what to do at this juncture on the Gundam here. I don't necessarily think they could have seen that coming. I believe the guys on Radiant were smoked, but it is like Gundam dies and then runs back to the exact same spot when he respawns and then just dies again the same way, you know? A little bit of that. Maybe it's time to go somewhere else. Not much vision on Dire. That is also true. This game, Dire is I have no words and I must scream, actually.
Axe charging.
Granola, who's on their favorite hero in this game?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's gotta be the Bat Rider, right?
Dire's
Why else would
middle
you pick
tower
this
has
guy?
fallen.
Quap's so poor, yep. Yeah, she's... I've seen poorer mids this season. I've definitely seen games where the mid drop below the support line, but she is not having that much fun. Lucky thing is, the DP isn't really that much further ahead of her, and if you close your eyes, you can pretend that DP was actually the mid this game. And not the Night Stalker, who's got 2 brand on her, even after 2 deaths. That's a meta hero? News to me. Bat has found
the Bat-
Steam here.
The Roche throw.
The Axe call on nobody? That's a little interesting.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier,
Radiant's
the bat the bat shard just deletes the buildings. You get like 8 stacks on it.
Jeez, that whiffed call from Axe plus the X and everything, that was good. You know, we've seen a lot of these Exos so far this season. Even better, it's a stand-in, I guess. We've seen a lot of these Exos so far this season where you just get a big Exo, big entry. At a time, you should have seen the big Exo, the big entry, and then there's no follow-up. But the Granola team just dropped the Wrecking Ball, just went right in there. Followed up right up very well. They saw the Axe, just missed the call, get the call on nobody. I'm sure they were expecting to take like a casual loss there. But it was actually a 3-for-0 trade as a result of that.
And a tier 2 tower lost.
And a tier 2 tower. So this is 1.7k net worth sling. Probably, really it's a 2k net worth sling given how the Radiant lost. Probably, excuse me. Well, I guess we can just look, huh?
Radiant's
Oh, no, we
bottom
can't.
tower
This
is
doesn't
under
show the gold
attack.
for counting
Radiant
for towers
are
anymore.
scanning.
But, it's like, let's say 2.5, close to 3. Sling on the Dire. This is an interesting time for a Roche attempt.
Yeah.
The Dire do not see it coming in the slightest and are not positioned at all to take advantage of it, so it is.
Do they have the
probably
damage
like
for it, or this is gonna be a slow Roche?
Oh,
Not
really,
Not
no,
with the X. Okay.
they have the Medusa with just the Mantis style and really nothing else, just Eagle style. Got the Axe here. It's not necessarily going to be the quickest Roche killer in the world, even with all those tricks. He's gonna speed things up at the very least. So after about 30 minutes of trying, this is finally gonna happen. Juice is gonna take it. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. You're putting Aegis on the guy who literally hasn't died yet, instead of the, you know, the Quamp who really needs it, or the Axe who probably could make better use of it realistically. Interesting decision there.
Radiant are scanning.
Because it's not like you're going to.
What?
It's not like you're going to run the risk on Medusa. I feel like it's not like you're going to have the
Big kill.
situation where you want Medusa to be taking the big risky plays and have that person death. At the very least, well, that CML said nothing. It's working out so far. They've run over most of the what the die has to offer, but only really lost a couple of people. Very brave Medusa to be fighting with really no items into the Exo, into the Night Stalker at 9. They're winning thus far. They lost the mid 4, which would be great. But still 4 for 3. Medusas are tiring. Rana not. That's interesting.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So, not the worst Aegis fight in the world, but a very good sign, considering Medusa didn't even come close to a single death. A good sign that it probably would have been a better plan to just put the Aegis on the Axe or the Quap, because I mean, imagine the world where the Axe gets a second life and he gets to just run over and cut down the Night Stalker the second time. Or maybe take a bullet for the Quap and save her life too, instead of being the first of the Corps to die in that fight. And it's kind of not great. I do think he still profited from it, but it's kind of awkward. Still, that's asterisks on a convincing win, so sad at least. Alright, we're looking at the Yules.
Maybe their thought was she's close to her butterfly, so she's gonna start tanking in the front and then having out everything around her. Then they'll Quap and Axe from the back lines. That's all I'm thinking about. I don't know.
The problem with that is like it's just not that much of an enabler for her comparatively. Wow, poor Gundam once again gonna die a second time the same night. That is unfortunate for the guy.
Top tower is under attack.
Surrounded by all 5 heroes with only the DP around.
He kind of just dies in pairs. Gundam just dies in pairs of scam. Twice in a row every time.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Who's tier 2 dies first, Radiant or Dire? See Jug trying to split
Radiant
push.
is already dead.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Bless you.
Medusa, now nobody heard that, and they didn't reach the cast. Medusa is still just valiantly hitting that creeps here. It's a good trade, I guess. You're probably not really going to want to fight into Aegis without the Night Stalker, even behind a tower, so it's probably the right call for Granola to split out and take the tower in con. Almost kind of feel like it might have been worth it for like the Axe and Skywrath to go bot and do something about it, but what can you do?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Medusa just wants to keep it going. Still has that Aegis, so she's still going to be A-clicking the Ancient here. Going after the T2 now. Juggernaut was waiting for that and is just going to pressure the T3.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
It's a full gamble to try and push into this at this juncture. He would really just rather go back. Okay, gonna lose the... No, you're not, because the Batrider actually got so slowed, the Axe is gonna be able to catch him here. Witchdog's gonna die in the middle of the ult. Granola has TP back in. Aegis goes down on the Dusa here. This is kind of bad for Dusa, actually. She's pretty deep in behind the lines. Uses ult the second she gets up, but everybody just kind of turns away. Oh, that's a great call, Purple Moon Jelly. Is going to just get rid of the Juggernaut for you. DP wins the fight and then dies immediately afterwards. Everybody dies except for Gundam. What a battle. Very odd. I feel like that was just, I don't know, not necessarily. Okay. I feel like there's just not a good fight on the Radiant's part to take it all. I mean, it didn't come out as bad as it could have been. They did get 4 kills. They didn't get any buybacks, sadly, for them, but they did get 4 kills on it. But they didn't get the building. It's only half dead. It was just such a large risk to do that. When you had a play that was kind of being set up for you, you could have just, sent a couple of guys bot to try and get Granola. If he TP back, then you just leave, go somewhere else, push out somewhere else. Right? I mean, it's not the most, it's not the sexiest play in the world, but you can at least, like, get some chip tower damage off. You have the Manta on the Dusa after all. He can get some chip tower damage off, go somewhere else. I think he just wanted to make sure he died with the Aegis. Problem is, he double died with the Aegis. So all that talk about Medusa and the Aegis, one of the things I was kind of getting at is like, it's not that easy to make use of a second life as Dusa at this point anyway. At that point in the fight, most of the rest of your team is either dead or gone much of the time, so indeed, as it turned out, you had the double death, which is not great. And the whole sequence of events did put him at the top of the charts, though. He's in first place now. Now that fight started like right before Medusa went a hill. Basically, she finished Butterfly, and now she's finished the entirety of a Hurricane Pike just from the proceeds from that. As her
3K up?
Next. Yep.
Or 2.5K up on the other pause one. Feels good as a Dusa.
Dreg is going to be able to maintain the gap. He has a full Mjolnir at this point, getting a Butterfly of his own, so... What do you think, Tiki? Would you prefer MKB here? Okay, decide whether or not that would be better. Just thinking about it.
I think the way you kill the Dusa is you kill the rest of her team, then kill the Dusa, and hope you survive long enough for it. So I think the Battle Fury helps, or the Butterfly helps you survive longer. So that's why it makes sense, but I could also see if you want to go like MKB Disperser to main fight the Dusa.
I think at this point you're pretty late on starting that whole entire
might die to
so.
Stone Gaze, so...
Gonna drop Discord there for a second. Don't worry about that, that's just a Discord thing. Let me check my disk usage real quick. Oh no, it's not that bad. I think it's just genuinely a Discord hiccup. But yeah, I think I would agree with that. It is probably... It has been shown to be feasible. We have kind of seen it a few times in a row now, these fights for Radiant, where everyone else... And that was kind of the issue I was talking about all the way back in Draft. Is like, you know, the Dusa, I, for the most part, like in this game. I think it is going to be tough for most of the enemy team to bring her down in particular. But the rest of the Radiant, I feel like you just kind of chew through. I feel like it's a much tougher go of it, and thus far it's basically been what we've been saying, so I think you're right on the money there, using the Exo on the DP to try and harass top, but wow, it gets away completely unscathed. Oh, they're emergency TPing home because they think Goose is still up here. TP'd home with the Exo, they got griefed. Actually, DP, the Medusa's here at top, unknowingly chasing the Juggernaut. Not anymore. Well, that was an awkward procession of events. Both teams just went home.
Making the same plays, taking every tier 2 tower.
Not the fake Medusas. Here goes, man still has his Grey. What do you think the chances are that Witch Doctor ends this game with a Grey in his backpack?
If it was just like the same thought as me, probably pretty high, because I don't know what that item does.
This item cannot be dropped or placed in the backpack, but can be put into normal inventory slots. Starts in the jungle item slot. When the owner dies, 100% of the gold lost from death is added to the item, and will be refunded when the item is consumed. So basically, one time a game, you get to eat this thing and you get all the money back that you lost when you died. So.
Oh, yeah, I see now. So I thought the smart play was to use all of the gold from like your deaths to get your shard at 15 minutes. But I see that Witch Doctor already has.
Have an axe call on the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut actually gets the Omni Slash out before the call ends, but it really doesn't do anything here. The Bat Rider just kind of immediately dies. The the Witch Doctor immediately follows the Night Stalker here in the back line. 9-second BKB, so this is a big reveal. It's gone off at kind of an awkward time, but all the people who can stun him are dead, and actually so is Medusa. That's not good.
Yeah, Jug survives on 5% HP.
Everybody kind of ran away and left the Deuce out to dry there. That was not good.
And you have Creep Wave with Exo. This might be a tier 3 tower gone.
3 for 2. Got one buyback on the Scarlet Mage. As I always say, this does not actually count your gold loss in the buyback. It's a much bigger swing than it looks. Another big axe call here. You can
Another
say a
dunk
lot about
from
the
me.
Axis game. Back call's not one of those things. Not going to be it for him. He's going to get run over here. Wild Daddy running away from the... That Exo ended a very good time for him. Running away from the Skyrath Q there actually might have killed him.
Regeneration!
And this Skyrath guy, he is not having a great time. He has a lot of kills and assists. Doesn't have as many deaths as you would expect, I think, at this point in the game that looks like this. This is about the same amount of deaths as his contemporaries on his team. So it's not too bad, but boy howdy, this guy is living in a box under the overpass, as I always say.
This sustains. Good remains.
It's interesting, the way the gold shakes out has been pretty much completely consistent. The only exception is DP's actually passed the jug at this
Radiant
point.
are scanning.
But for the most part, the amount of gold everyone has is pretty consistent just through the game. The Dire just can't seem to hold on to a long-term advantage.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I don't know if you saw, but this DP has built Fusel Blade.
Yeah, she had that very early in the game, actually.
Oh, I just noticed for the first time.
There you go.
Radiant's bottom tower.
DP is
I kinda like it.
to run into this pit, is going to silence 3. There's 0 BKBs. There's 1 BKB, but he came out super late. Came out after
Pop
the
out
pop was
does
already
nothing.
mostly dead. If she just hit that, the first thing, doing a lot better. Dire's going to continue this chase out. It's going to just run over the CM. Kind of unfortunate. DB's going to use the Exo to pick up this this Aegis here. Yep, very free. Go in the Roche pit. Juggernaut takes, so Witch Doctor picks up the Roche's banner. Still got a bit of the Exo. They had Night Stalker actually go back to help make sure the slave wasn't in an awful spot. Gonna have about a quarter of the Exo to actually hit the tower with. Actually about a fifth. But... Oh no, there's only 1 creep in this wave, so it'll be dead actually by the time they hit the first building, sad. Oh well, actually she should have just gone up here thinking about it. Oh well. Very rough. The Bat Rider is going to pick up the flop. Silence on the DP some more, but a little too late. This is huge damage coming up from the Dusa though. Everybody's getting super hammered. Granola getting very low. The Night Stalker getting very low. The DP getting very low. Everybody just got super screwed up by that Dusa just coming out there. Did not even... No, she didn't even have ult. So... does have a Crimson Guard though.
But thanks to the healing word from Jug, they're back to full health, ready to go again.
Take that as tribute.
The Daedalus is done on Dusa, so this is gonna be really scary high ground, even with Aegis.
Yep. She does not have her Ag. She has not even started on it yet. So she is going to be. This is going to be a little while longer until we see the truly terrifying Dusa. The Daedalus does mean a lot. I mean, if she had that Daedalus before that fight, they all die. She had that.
Sure.
She had that thing before that fight. That's the other 2 cores are dead, and Jug like Aegis pops. But what are you gonna do? I don't think it was
After that
easy to
fight-
get it out, but it is definitely a power spike worth thinking about.
After that fight, the Aegis fight at least, the Jug and DP have basically caught up to the Dusa
Yeah.
on farm.
Yeah, they didn't actually get any kills trying to go uphill, really. They just lost. The Deuces just lost so much time and just stay back. Stay in the spawn here. Well, Rip to Bat Rider just gets completely hammered by the Skyrath. Rod of Aegis and all.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
DP still with the slow siege here on the mid T1. Or mid T1, mid T3. It's going to elect to just... This is like the biggest back of all time. This DP decided that she forgot her pushing in her other pants and has gone all the way back to the jungle here top. Massive retreat. It's going to give Wink some space to make that money back up. Unless Granola just sends illusions to come hit bot T3. We're gonna get cleared out pretty quickly, but you know. The T3 towers are not a lung. They don't grow back. Your lungs grow back, right? Because mine do. But they're not lungs. They don't grow back. And every little bit of damage you get on a T3, it does matter. And I think that's something that's often underappreciated in LD2L. It is a very valid thing, especially so long as you are going to be the late game lineup, and I would say the Dire here probably are going to be. The Jug isn't going to be that far behind the Deuce, and I don't think anybody really scales to that degree outside of if you let Quap do crazy damage, basically, but like in a way you kind of need to let her like do the weird like self-feedback build, but I would say the Dire are probably going to be the longer term team, just because eventually the Bat Rider is going to start doing like actual damage. So
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
they have an easy bongo boots builder. Radiant really doesn't. They're going to be able to do it, but it's much farther away. Okay. Wow, the Jug Aegis goes down like literally.
Just melted.
Let's see the timer on that actually. I want to see. I went back too far.
30 seconons. Oh.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is too
30
far, so we got 30 seconds.
Radiant's
He's
bottom
hitting the
tower
tower.
is under attack.
7. So 25 seconds left on that Aegis. He really waited to the last possible moment. Oh man, look at this Witch Doctor. Got 3 people killed. And Jug just goes deep to get the 4th. This is looking very over. Big. Oh, he ate the green. Big ult from the Witch Doctor. Very well played fight from the Dire general going on there.
Yeah, with the Night Stalker jumping the back line and the bounces from the Witch Doctor ult. A lot of damage.
Yeah, it really was a good display of just kind of the key issues with this draft. I mean, the Deuce has survived and that's great, but where's the rest of her team?
Radiant structures
6 feet under.
Yep. And okay.
She's joining them.
No, she's not. She's gonna be fine. She's like impossible to kill still.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
This whole game, as bad as this game got towards the end, and we're looking at a 36 to 24 lead, so that's 12 kill lead, 25k net worth advantage, right? The Medusa still only died twice. So she is still incredibly difficult to kill. The problem is that the rest of her team might as well be wet noodles at this point. Like the axe is very badly falling off at this juncture. The Quap was never there. I mean, she's been poor forever. The Quap, after that Witch Doctor got that big play in their base, after he ate that Gree, Witch Doctor and Quap are pretty comparable net worth right now. He actually got a kind of hand disc there, which is kind of funny. What do you think the chances that the Roche's banner gets deployed are?
I'm gonna give it a 40% chance.
There we go.
I'm taking the under on that.
Well, Medusa's doing the only thing there is to do. Got that Divine Rapier queued up. That'll probably replace Wand, if I'm guessing.
I would hope so.
Don't know how long the game is going to last. I wouldn't be that surprised if she literally just didn't have time to get it at this juncture.
I think she's gonna get it and then die within 2 minutes. That's my prediction.
There you go.
Gonna feel confident enough to go out and then die.
Yeah, she doesn't really have that much as far as like tankiness goes. So. It is an interesting situation. This is a rapier that could change things. As I just said, it is still really hard to actually kill this guy even now. Even as bad as this looks, it is still usually 4 other guys die, Medusa gets away in most fights, right? So if the Medusa gets to just lob bombshells at you, what do you mean MKB on the Death Prophet? This is like, my Death Prophet's building like a P1 that wants to kill Medusa. That's a little crazy.
I think if she's going for the trying to kill Medusa, double down and get Parasma for the attack speed, and then
Yeah.
she'll have so much attack speed that she can actually do what she wants to do.
Yeah, she
but
can
right now
actually
she doesn't
attack
have
more
anything.
than once every 20 minutes. It's a little crazy to me to get the MKB when your attack speed is that low.
How low is it right now this game? It's probably like
It is
0.76. That's a dead
71.
Skyra.
We're all folks. Goodbye to the CM. Who's gonna come out and protest here the death of her team, as usual. And Omni-Slash hits the axe. And yeah, my prediction was correct. She never got the rapier. Hollywood calls it, geez, we're going home.
Radiant's middle tower
I think she
And they
could've
did put
bought it
down
if
the
she wanted,
banner.
but wouldn't have even got there in time, I don't think.
fallen. Dire
What about on the courier?
Well, if I was Hollywood, I would be feeling a little rough about my Snoopy.
Oh no.
It's okay. It'll wake up. Eventually. Come on now. We're all waiting for you. There we go.
Heat waves getting to your PC.
True. Yeah, not much to say about this. I think most of the predictions people made in draft were pretty well true. That the Medusa on the Radiant looked good, did good. Nothing else on the Radiant really looked good. The support line really wasn't able to help with this game pretty much at all. For the most part, they just kind of served to throw things. Medusa no Ags as well, true. For the most part, they just served to throw things in Night Stalker's mouth. I think she got behind is the issue. Like, she didn't even end up building anything that the Ags would have helped with, really. Right? Like, she just started falling really far behind. Couldn't even get the desperation. Couldn't even get the desperation couldn't even get the desperation rapier out. Died before it actually got bought. Right? She really did have the whole world on her back in this game, because the axe felt really good at the beginning, but he had this very defensive, conservative build that ended up slowing him down. That ended up taking away his ability to do that much damage over the course of the game. And at the end of the day, it's not really in that great of an axe game to begin with. I mean, you're not gonna ever get more than one of these guys on this team in the call, right? Like, that's not happening. So that's already not great. The only person you're going to kill in a call is probably Juggernaut, because Night Stalker is going to live it. Death Prophet is definitely going to live it. Batrider is, he might die to what you do, but he's not going to die to like the Blade Mail. Same with Witch Doctor, right? More likely to die from like the Skywrath ult follow-up than they are to the actual Axe Call, which, by the way, somebody was talking about, Kingfisher was talking about the combination with the Quap ult at the top of it, but that really didn't actually end up happening for the most part during this game, which I guess is perhaps a symptom of the stand-in thing, but yeah, the Axe ended up feeling like less sand. The Quap just never got out of first gear. Just started the game, losing lane pretty badly, and she just never got over it. She was just kind of a non-factor to the end of the game. And at the end of the day, as I believe it was you who pointed out, you just kind of had, really, 4 squishy heroes on the Radiant. Well, I would say 3 squishy heroes. I don't think Axe is... I know Big Al says Axe isn't tanky. He certainly built it this game. built the whole Crimson and everything. I think Axe is at least fairly tanky. Like, I would say he's tankier than, like, basically any P1, for example. But, it really just wasn't enough this game. There's too much to ignore. Like, for example, the DP Ghosts, they completely ignore the damage block from any source of it, right? They do not care. It just goes right through. Witch Director ult does not care about your damage block. It just goes right through. Night Stalker and Bat Raider are going to do mostly magic damage. So he did get tanky to fizz damage, but like the only thing he was tanky for is the Juggernaut and then the Quap, which is like nothing. So kind of ended up working out as really largely as expected, I think. Really ended up working out where the Radiant ended up being... the other 4 guys got ran over, Medusa couldn't 1v9. So, with
Mhm.
that being said, we'll see what happens next game.